Welcome back to Golf Simulator Videos. Today, we're back with the Trackman AOA ceiling mounted golf launch monitor to talk about angle of attack. So this is something Trackman has been working on. I've talked about it in the channel and I told you guys they were grinding away, burning the midnight oil, making sure that when they released the attack angle to the public, it was going to be proper. That was very important to them, so I hope you guys picked up on that when I was explaining that. A lot of comments on the YouTube channel, a lot of emails, things along those lines. Well, today, they're bringing attack angle. Now, it is a little limited. It is going to be on woods and hybrids, and there's a reason for that. They kind of call it the larger clubs they've been able to lock in. I'm gonna play a short little video for you guys so you can actually hear Frederick talking about how they've developed like a new technology to measure attack angle with the ceiling mounted IO. And I can appreciate, I don't want them to push something out to the public that is gonna be misleading in any way. It could get in the hands of like a coach or an instructor that thinks that they're trusting a number and it not be right. So I really can appreciate that, and they're grinding away to get the rest of irons and wedges and everything dialed in so they can bring that to you ASAP. So let's go ahead and just watch this short little video, let you guys listen to Frederick and explain, kind of the process they've gone through.
So we designed the Trackman AOA indoor optimized, being able to measure the attack angle with a ceiling mounted device with a radar and camera combined. The trick was really to get the accurate range measurement, the distance from the tracking unit to the club as it approaches the ball. We've been working this for quite some time now. We're very happy to see that we can now do this consistently with the Trackman accuracy on all the what we call big clubs, hybrids, woods and drivers. For tracking the attack angle, again, the distance to the club as it approaches the ball is super important. And in order to do that, we actually have to dig quite deep in our signal processing toolbox. We actually developed a new technology for doing that, which I'm very interested in pursuing even further as we continue to develop the Trackman AOA and other tracking devices.
So basically by unlocking Trackman IO with attack angle, now it's unlocking other features. So now you're going to get spin loft and you're going to get optimizer. And by the way, did you notice in the video gray zip up that I might be wearing right now, kind of an arm sitting there with the IO all taken apart? That was actually from my visit to Denmark to the headquarters. I thought that was pretty cool. Some of that B-roll footage was from my visit. If you haven't watched that video, you got to go back and watch it. I mean, that was a big eye-opening experience, just seeing everything that was going on in the background. But so this is bringing optimizer to the table, all right, with that spin loft and angle of attack. So I'm actually going to close this out, all right. I think we've watched enough there, just them kind of explaining how they've unlocked new technology. What I like about that is that it tells me that there's more coming, not just angle of attack, but they are going to refine data points, try to unlock more features and data for everyone as they dive even further into that, signal processing like he was talking about. It's so interesting and fascinating to learn about what radar reads and then what they're utilizing the camera for and how they're putting it all together. But so I took a couple warm-up shots. You are not going to see anything impressive today. I'm just going to try to hit drives that aren't sprayed all over the place, but I did have a knee procedure done on both of my knees, so I'm in a recovery process right now. Doesn't feel the best. I feel like that club speed of 108 was actually really about all I'm going to see. We'll see. Other thing I want to disclose is I've been comparing a GT2 driver, all right, that is an 8 degree, and I have it set at A1, which is the neutral setting, and I was hitting a GT1 9 degree in a D1 setting, turning it down. And what we were trying to accomplish is raising my spin, because I was hitting spin so low because I was hitting so up on the ball, which is pretty fascinating. We're talking about angle of attack. I figured why not, kind of merge all these together. And you'll see my angle of attack on that shot was 6. My ball speed was low, all right, mainly due to my club speed and contact, probably both, and we can actually review contact of that shot. But my spin rate was solid. I feel like it was a little above the midpoint, and we can take a look at that really quick. So the goal today is to hit a couple drives for you guys, see where that angle of attack number is lying with this driver, the Ventus Black extra stiff that I play, my swing and everything. Where's that speed? Where's that angle of attack? Where's that spin landing? And using the optimizer to see if my numbers are, you know, where they need to be. Now, I really like what I see there. The spin loft was right at the top, launch angle was right at the top, spin rate was a little low, which I like because if I'm launching it higher with a little lower spin, I even got the height out of the ball. All I needed to do is if I was making my normal swing where I can get that club head speed up like 110, 112, I feel like we would be perfect. So I'm not concerned with, I'm basically an optimal carry from what I'm seeing from this driver right now. So I'm really excited to see if we can actually get this. And I want to just show you guys that's impact location. Let's just look at impact location. So just like I thought, that was just a little high, generating a little bit lower spin. So if that was just a little bit lower, you're probably going to see closer to what they would have considered, you know, maybe outside of that range. All right, so, you know, 23, you know, 24, depending on where it would have been. So we want to try to get all of this right in that range. So let's see if we can make another swing for you guys. That attack angle, like I said, I really don't want it to go higher than 6. That was the problem I was getting into. So ball speed a little bit higher that time. The problem is I snapped the face shut, and so that ended up being a ball going left, and look at the launch angle. So you got a much lower launch angle out of that. Obviously not nearly as much carry. So a little snappy on that after standing around getting the video going. Tack angle was similar, so we'll just try to make that same swing and not over-release the club. That was a little high toey ball, which can be a little scary for me. Notice how it takes off a little bit to the right and then goes to the left. Club head speed went up a little bit. Contact made the ball go down. And then what we see is the spin rate decreasing once it gets a little too high on the face and towards the toe. So let's try to make another swing here. This is, I think, one is it's fascinating to see when my attack angle starts creeping up too far, you know, my impact's changing, everything's changing. And that high toe ball was kind of a scary shot for me for a little while. So that, I mean, that ball's not bad, right? But you can see even in the trajectory, I really like looking at the optimizer. See that green box that it's displaying? You can see how that ball's going up and it's falling out of the sky. That was the problem that I was having before with these crazy low spins. 1600 is definitely getting past where you want to see it. 18, 1900 I could live with, but now when I'm getting steep and I'm getting high toe, that ball's falling out of the sky, and that's why you're losing carry. That was a better swing. So I almost didn't close it enough, and you can see that ball will push a little bit to the right. Notice the ball speed's going up though, a little better contact, spin rate 2200. I mean, I'm really liking these numbers that I'm seeing, and if I look closely, notice the ball, because you guys should be able to see that quite well. I tried to get my camera to show all the data points plus the graphical image, not just the optimizer. Watch that ball, that white stays at the top of the green arc almost the whole way, then starts falling out. Now, and that's because, you know, I believe between the launch angle and the ball speed, probably more than anything, because it is at the top of the optimal spin. So that means that ball was getting carried through that trajectory because of spin with a little more ball speed. And I think that we're near ideal with this driver. So I really like what I see. If I can get my club head speed a little higher, where I'd like to see it, and I haven't seen any of those sub 1000 knuckleballs that just fall out of the sky. So I might have found a good balance here. And don't get me wrong, my swing is starting to get a little more realistic. 5.3 attack angle is really what I'd like to see. I don't want to see that thing getting up there in that 7, 8, 9 that I was seeing for a little while. What I can tell you is that out of my testing so far, you know, attack angle with driver, which is very important when doing club fittings that you could do this for, use optimizer. It's really solid. So I like that they took their time with it, and you know, they didn't rush it, and I think that's really important. Can't believe my knees are holding up decent here. I feel like these swings are actually really good, all considering.
Sorry.
we're gonna have to hit another one. I have my watch talking to me in the background. That was very distracting, so I apologize for that. Well, that shows you what a snapped face shot looks like. I mean, I swung decently hard. That's probably a miss that you want to stay away from, is just over-releasing, you know, coming a little inside and snapping your face shot. But the attack angle, 4.8, not crazy. That was funny, right in my backswing, almost by my ear. So that was a little low on the face. Now I'm interested to see, when we get into that higher spin range, lower launch angle, look at the carry go down, all right? Attack angle 6, not too bad. Still controllable, like that's not a bad miss. I'd rather have a higher spin. I was talking to my swing coach about this. You know, we were talking about what should the miss be. And if the miss is a little lower on the face, lower launch, that still carries 274, ball speed 161, not complaining too much with that, that's for sure. I mean, notice the ball, I mean, the dispersion being very, very low on that. Love how the attack angle is, I mean, like I said, reading every single time, reading the numbers I would expect. That's gonna be a little to the right. So my club head speed is getting up. The problem I felt there is that I did not rotate and I got stuck in this you know, movement right here, which leads to attack angle being, you know, higher than I'd like to see. Obviously, you know, face being open and that ball being a big push to the right. Big push to the right. But I don't think that ball's out of bounds in most cases. Depends on the fairway, right? But club head speed's going up a little bit. I think if I would have hit that in the center of the face and, you know, with a nice 5-6 degree up, I feel like that would have really been a good, good ball. So let's see if we can kind of melt it all together. So that was a little lower on the face again. The only problem with the lower on the face, you'll see that launch angle go down, spin go up a little bit, and then I just lose that carry. Attack angle 6.4, not bad. We're looking for consistency here. I mean, I think most people have seen me play on a million different launch monitors and everything, and lately, when I'm swinging well, 5 or 6 seems to be my kind of go-to number. I think I like the GT2 better than the GT1, the way it was turned down and everything, the current swing that I have. I just need to close the face a little bit. I feel like that right there, you know, with hitting just maybe a little bit higher on the face, I can show you where that hit. It was just a little bit low, maybe a tiny bit heel bound. I'm trying to, yeah, no, that wasn't heel bound, just low, that's all. So almost a little bit, you know, towards the toe, if you want to call it that, but that probably kept it from going right. If it was heel bound, you would have saw that ball probably have right spin to it. But yeah, just a little bit low is kind of the safety shot. And you gotta get, I have to admit, I tee it up pretty high usually, but like, let's use this shot as an example. Attack angle 5.8, club speed 109, ball speed 162, spin rate 2374 with a slight push. All right, so if I got that face closed just a little bit more, I mean, look at the trajectory, staying in the green the entire way. I mean, that is huge. I'll go back to the optimizer. Sorry, I went back to the same exact image for you guys. But I mean, launch angle, reaching the goal. Spin rate, the only reason it was a couple, maybe if you want to even call it a couple hundred out of the parameters there, was because it was just a little low on the face. That ideal sweet spot is just a few millimeters high, maybe a millimeter or so towards the toe if you like a draw, and you're just gonna see solid numbers. You get a little bit of spin reduction. You know, it's just ideal. But look at the ball height, look at the ball speed, look at the spin loft. I mean, all of these numbers just look so much better to me than what I was seeing with the GT1 because I've kind of reeled my swing in. I love that I'm staying in that 5 to 6 range on attack angle. If I can get my club speed up to where I'd like to be, you know, get strong again, get confident with the way my knees feel, and get up to 112, let's say. I think you're going to see all these numbers really marry together and be happy. I'm not a club fitter. I'm not an instructor. This is the beautiful part about Trackman and its ability to just read all of the data points, and you know where you need to be. So you don't have to be a mathematician. It's going to tell you if you want optimal carry, and you can, you know, judge your own dispersion and understand how you're swinging. Toss out the bad shots. There's going to be bad shots. Turn on the TV. I mean, these guys spray balls all the time, right? So, you know, for an amateur like me, looking at the results, I think I have a clear winner here. I think the GT2, you know, I'll get my speed up and see where it is, but I really like what I'm seeing with attack angle. I think I'm going to dive in more. I'll do some testing with hybrid, do some comparisons to see, you know, what other launch monitors read for my attack angle, and then compare it to the IO and, you know, see the consistency, like I said. But for driver, which is so important, I think that it's just, they've really dialed this in. I mean, it is spot on. So you guys let me know what you think. Let me know what else you want to see, you know, with Trackman Virtual Golf 3, Trackman IO, Trackman 4, whatever it may be. Love to show it to you. And as always, stay tuned. There'll be a lot more coming soon.